are some of the things that a mental health professional or counselor in a college environment could help a young person with who is at that age 18 phase where mom and dad aren't there to help anymore, you know, to do that daily routine for them anymore, and they're on their own for the first time, and they're, you know, coming in and having questions about gender and probably adjusting to life on their own in general.
You know, it's a very difficult time, and as far as I know, we haven't really trained enough mental health professionals who work in colleges or, you know, even in our hospitals and other places to look out for this population of kids. We're getting better at it. We're, you know, labeling that this is a scary time. But any of these transition points I mentioned, from elementary to high school, and that's puberty and all that entails. But the college thing is equally difficult for a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they find, and the advantage to university at some level is that they may find a few more kids who are like them, who share some of the same interests, who are really into tech stuff or really into different things. And finding that kind of connection can go a long way, you know, because the other person will value them for what they know or what they can do. But the mental health end of it, that doesn't really get taken care of, I'm afraid. I don't think it does.
Yeah. This is an interesting question. Is there validity to a belief that for a young person with autism, but also with gender dysphoria, thinking along the lines of, well, my autism can't be cured, but my dysphoria can through transition. So at least I can help myself out in that way. So I'm gonna go that route. Well, how do you respond to that?
You know, to the extent that we have a few longer term studies of the health of people who've transitioned, they continue to experience quite significant mental health difficulties. I have followed now a person whom I saw when I was just in the middle of my psychiatric training. This was at that point a young woman, and she had a girlfriend, but the girlfriend had been in relationships with a couple of guys and eventually had kids from those. She continued to, I think, find that this girlfriend was her main support. She transitioned and went through the whole process and was convincingly male and worked in a male thing and looked after this whole family of her girlfriend at that time. They actually married, and her two kids, and we did very, very well. I would see him. We still correspond on email, but regularly. He's in his early 70s. I'm in my early 80s, and he only went for a phallus replacement after his wife died. And so to me, that's illustrative of the fact really provided the care and the sense of belonging that he needed. And so he started all over again after she died to search out something that was going to be more secure for him. Mm-hmm. And he's still really functioning very well despite all of this. And but you know, these are things that the depression doesn't go away. It may go up and down, and if you're in a good relationship, it's probably not going to be too bad.
From a counselor's point of view, working with young people, say college age, is it your experience, your view that for the population of youth with autism or ASD, that exploratory therapy as opposed to immediate and sole affirmation of gender approach in therapy, that the exploratory approach is particularly more important or more helpful?
It's very, very important because many young people have not had any opportunity to reflect on this whole issue when they're in an affirmative approach system. And they really do get shuffled along for the most part, as opposed to given many opportunities to rethink it. I would like to see all of them have opportunities to talk to people who've transitioned. Maybe other people who are gay and lesbian who may have had similar thoughts but have resolved it in a different kind of way. This whole process of growing up and who you're going to be is malleable. And it doesn't have to be this one thing, but they've locked onto it. And it is so, I don't want to say it's harmful, but a lot of I used to have meetings regularly with the people who ran the adult gender identity clinic, and they said, even though they're happier, or at least say they're happier, they're constantly having to have this surgery or that surgery. It's never enough, and it's never perfect. And so your life then gets focused on your body and whether your body's okay, rather than on your relationships and everything else you should be looking at and thinking about it. So it isn't, one of the things that's happened in the past is everybody gets scared when they realize that these kids are suicidal, and we've had kids commit suicide, so it's not just a joke. But they continue to have a lot of suicidal thinking even after they've transitioned, and that's where a lot of the detransitioners can be helpful in terms of answering questions about that kind of thing. So what's different now, and why is it different? I think that the therapy end of it is critical until they're at an age where they fully understand what they're getting into and can make an informed decision and know that this is not going to necessarily be an easy life.
Yeah.